Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be genius. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends and social media. Giving you a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected by Everyone. So stay in tune for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And over on Anime King 2, I gave you a brand new episode and check out that and I hope you guys enjoy. And stay in tune because after it I'm going to be giving you a new episode of What If the 10 Tails was sealed inside of Naruto. Stay in tune for that and I hope you guys enjoy as well. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King, and thank you for all of your help and your support, remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last part we left off, Saruto will be convinced Naruto to join their new friends. Meanwhile, Mei Terume came to the village that they believe that he is being used by a genjutsu. A genjutsu of that caliber would seem that Ayo had the Byakugan, a treasure bloodline from Konoha. She told him that's a secret which she couldn't give out, as she thought that he was going to help her. When he then asked Jiraiya if he's up for it, as Mei was surprised he was going to send one of the Sanins, as she gladly accepted, as she told him that Konoha and Kirin would be allied once they're finished rebuilding and everything. Sarutobi also sent Itachi along as well to. Meanwhile with Naruto, Ino was beyond shock when she saw Naruto and Sasuke enter the classroom. She was beyond shock, even if he didn't want to admit it, and she rather liked his company. So she would have to split her time, as Naruto didn't even care what Iruka said, as Iruka wanted to put the blonde in his place. Everyone was called out for a taijutsu battle, as Ino faced off against a girl which Naruto knew, as he said for him to just give it up. As Sasuke knew that it was true, he just nodded and accepted that, as Iruka was disappointed as he thought that Sasuke was going to show his arrogance and fight off against Naruto, as he then told everyone to go have a break as she was scared what to do. As Naruto looked up at them and told them to leave. They then hold their heads high and leave as Ino came and sat down as she apologized to Naruto for not doing anything. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So, you're even better than Sasuke. And you're not trying to be like him, arrogant. So you don't deserve all of this, she said. There are a lot of things we deserve, but don't get them, Ino. I'm your friend, but I'm afraid to do anything because I might lose their friendship. I can stop it, but I'm afraid, and I comfort myself by coming here. It even bothered me, knowing that you can handle them, but you cannot stop them from saying what they want. Naruto frowned. He was going to read his book, but that wasn't being put in this kind of position. It bothered him. Ino worried for him because she cared for him. What he has taken and heard from the villagers, a bunch of idiotic fangirls, couldn't even speak like that again, and you will have that ramen on your own, she said. I wouldn't complain either ways. Start small and eventually grow. Don't let your crush grow, Ino. You will turn out to be a little annoying girl and a failure of a kunoichi if you grow like this. Watch it, smart young girl. Don't let this fangirl attitude consume your thought. Sasuke's. She then slapped both of her cheeks as she looked away. A few minutes later, the was good for him. He had to make friends his own age. But Naruto saw that the academy was just a so he wasn't going to curse or complain about it anymore. Naruto sighed as he looked at Ino as she was sitting at the front row, as he then took his gaze off of her on Naruto's right. You haven't told me, how did you come to know Ino? She doesn't seem to be like your type. Naruto shrugged. You didn't ask, he said. Right, said Shikamaru. Want me to befriend you, he said. It was easier this way than to be sneaky about it. It was too. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. What about Shogi at my house after the academy? You up for it? Why not? Naruto said. I could do something to sharpen my mind while killing some time. 3 hours later, Hokage's office. Sarutobi smiled as Naruto walked in his office. He knew well Naruto wouldn't ditch the academy because his mother wouldn't be happy with him if he do so. Naruto simply nodded as he sat down in the chair. He was rather pleased to see that Jiraiya wasn't there, as Jiraiya was hunting to be a part of his life. But Naruto was going to keep him in the cold wind for the time, but he wasn't going to just shut him out. Jiraiya had his uses by the professor himself, so there is a few things that he could teach him. Naruto then looked back at Sarutobi. I had a rather brief, interesting conversation with Shikaku. Oh, said Sarutobi. Yes, I appreciate his honesty when I asked him if you were Sarutobi had to keep his defenses up as Naruto was a master of reading people just by looking at them. You are really pulling all of the strings to change me and keep me happy, Naruto said. What do you think is so special about me that you're willing to do all of this to ensure that I'm well? Chances of that happening are very high, at least when I become strong enough to protect her. There's another issue of Danzo. Does it scare you that I may join him for power? He really should have Kushina restricted Naruto entry to Minato's study. Then again, village. I want you to grow strong and show Konoha that you're indeed a hero. Perhaps then they will accept you. I know that the treatment you have received has put a rather negative effect on Konoha. Not even that, even humanity. As Naruto knew that Jinchurikis were frowned upon in every land, it wasn't Konoha but every other hidden villages. Konoha may be the one to torment him, but Naruto looked far beyond Konoha. Kid, I have asked myself this question before. What if everyone who ate me, free world, and walk along the street without any glare, trying to murder me or anything? Do you know what the answer of my reasonable mind gave me, old man? Sarutobi just frowned. The answer was obvious, he thought. An ideal world if someone had offered me that wish to come true, I would have jumped at the opportunity, Naruto said. This is why Sarutobi did everything to make Naruto happy. This is why his mother pushed for him to make friends. He wanted Naruto to see that there was nice people out there, and not everyone is bad. But don't worry, I still have hope, Naruto said. Perhaps it's the only thing that made me sane. That and my love for my mother. It is the fact that you still hope that I try to create a better future for you, said the third, sadly thing. I don't want to go without doing something to make your life a bit more peaceful and happy. Silence settled between them for a few. He then looked at Naruto with a nervous smile. Naruto, he said. Jiraiya, Naruto said. Wait, can I talk to you, Naruto? Jiraiya said. Some other time, said Naruto. The remaining time of the day is reserved for my mother before we go to the Uchihas. You can talk to me when I'm available. That is if you don't suddenly disappear, Naruto said. As Jiraiya frowned at that, but he nodded nonetheless. I will be around, he said. We'll see, said Naruto. And with that he left. Time skip, Uchiha compound. Dinner with the Uchihas. For Kushina, this was always a pleasant time for her and Kushina enjoyed their time here. It was also a rare day as Fukaku decided to join them. And Fukaku was sitting next to Sasuke. So, Naruto, said Fukaku, as he didn't want to compare Sasuke with Naruto. On his own right, Sasuke was a genius. His reasoning was that will force the boy to try and surpass his brother on a different note. He always tried to make her happy. Well, at least his presence at the academy gives Sasuke someone to compete with, said Mikato. As she was me, you don't have my determinations, my experience. That drove me to become what I have become. I will not disappoint you guys, he said. I know you won't, Mikato said. Say anything. He just looked down at his food. Kushina, Fukaku said, as he spoke with a rather curious tone. I heard that your clan is going to be restored. Or at least, you're going to make an attempt to do so. As all eyes turned towards Kushina, prestige clan who resided in the village that was hidden in the whirlpools. They were blood relatives of the Senju clan and had a healthy relationship with the clan. That relationship extended to Konoha. The first Hokage's wife was from the whirlpool, a Uzumaki woman. Kushina here lived there before coming here, said Mikato. As Kushina nodded, my clan was peace-loving. We never took part in the wars, despite being allies of Konoha. Despite this, my clan was no participating in wars or shinobi kept growing. During the second Shinobi War, a combined army of Hiri and Kumo attacked us, and my clan was wiped out. I only survived because by that time I already transferred here in Konoha. As Sasuke eyebrow twitched, so Naruto was smart. A Jinchuriki, he was from a clan as well. If two threatened already, he asked, to raise eyebrow. By who? Sasuke asked. There are just the two of you, you're far away from threatening the Uchiha. As he then looked to Kushina, is this why you wish for the clan to be restored? Yes, Kushina said and nod. I still believe that there might be survivors out there. Hopefully when Naruto-chan grows up he will find them. Right, Naruto-chan? She asked. It was a conversation the Uzumaki clan will be restored to its former glory, Naruto said. As Kushina just smiled at her son. as Fukaku realized what Sarutobi was doing, giving them something that the mother wanted that will ensure that Naruto will stay here with her. So there was no chance of him leaving. That old man was very smart indeed. Kushina probably accepted it because she believed it will create a family for Naruto, giving him a proper environment. I see, Fukaku said. If there's anything you need, talk to me. Mito, what's up Uzumaki? Since no one is here to claim the Senju compound, I figure you may be in position to inherit everything. Naturally, you'll be faced with opposition, he said. Itachi, come to the police HQ force when you're done, he said. As Itachi nodded, and with that, the man left. A week later, to think that things will come to this. It had to be done, Itachi thought as he shook his head. He had listened to Naruto's thought. Naruto would do anything to protect the people that he loved. For this reason, Itachi stood upon Naruto's house in the late night with Naruto beside him. So nothing has solved the matter, Naruto said. My mission to Kiri was to prove whether it was. The 4th Mizukage was being manipulated by the Sharingan. And it was true, it was a masked man doing it. I see, was all Naruto said. The revelation did nothing good with the elders, as they believed that the Uchihas were behind it. In turn, my clan has pushed the coup ahead of schedule. My father would have tried to use you, technically, the Kyuubi, to gain more power in the fight, Itachi said. Danzo ordered me to get rid of the clan before they initiate the plan. If the coup were to occur, with the Kyuubi being released, it will make me miserable and put my mother in more danger, Naruto said. I assume that Sarutobi isn't aware of this. Itachi shook his head no. He still believed that he can talk things out, he said. He then walked up to Naruto as he kneeled right in front of him. I cannot kill Sasuke. Please Naruto, I'm begging you. I want you to watch over him for me. I know that this will deal a major blow on his mind, but I need you to watch over him. I guess I owe you that much, Naruto said. But if he become a problem, I will deal with him with my own hands, painfully. And if my mother got caught in that problem, I will kill him myself. Itachi just nodded. That was the best he could get out of Naruto, but just to be safe, he would speak to Sarutobi after the mission. Why kill everyone though, said Naruto. Danzo believed that it's necessary, or else they will revolt at a later stage. Naruto frowned. Itachi, your object is to stop the coup from happening, right? There are innocent families and children who know nothing about the coup. Are you going to kill them as well? If yes, better just warn me when the coup is going to happen, so I can leave this village with my mother, so we won't get caught up into it. If I don't do it, Danzo will. I'd rather die honorably by my blade. Naruto stood up. If you kill everyone, Sasuke will lose it. He will become something uncontrollable, and I will kill him before the year ends. You know how gullible he is. My mother will be affected by Mikato's death as well. She can't afford to lose a true friend. As he turned away from the Uchiha, my mother will be left broken. And should that happen, I'll kill Sasuke and hunt you down for the rest of your life. So, Itachi, think about what you're doing very carefully. You care for Konoha and Sasuke. Killing everyone will lead to Sasuke's death. You know I will kill him if my mother is wounded. I imagine for you to avoid that, you'll have to kill me as well. But my death will be the release of the Kyuubi, and Konoha will see another rampage. What are you saying? Asked Itachi. I understand that you want to protect Konoha. Killing those who can only harm Konoha is the best chance for Konoha. In fact, leaving your mother behind, Sasuke, she will be there for him. You know as well not everyone is involved in the coup. And I'm sure you can save your people from Danzo. If we don't agree with that, then your options are simple. Kill only the people that threaten Konoha, and we will get along. Kill everyone else and leave Sasuke, and hurt my mother when she know her true friend has died. And in response, I will hurt you by killing Sasuke and hunt you down. To avoid that from happening, you will have to kill me as well. But I will not allow you to kill me. I will even go as far to release the Kyuubi to protect myself. Your mother will still be in danger if you do that, Itachi pointed out. Naruto shook his head. My mother can restrain the Kyuubi with her chains. The choice is yours, Itachi, Naruto said, as he started to walk away. Even with my mother alive, will you look after Sasuke? Take him as your brother, Itachi called out. With your mother alive, my mother will not suffer. I can manage, your foolish brother. I owe that to you, for at least everything you have done for me. Time skip. The world was a funny place. Today people might call you a hero, doing something that will tarnish your name. People call for your death the other day, as Naruto was rather amused by the situation in Konoha. The beloved Uchiha Itachi, a prodigy, had become one of the village traitors. Uchiha was now being spoken in the same sentence as Orochimaru. When they sent curses to the snake, they sent some to Itachi. He had betrayed them and turned into the power-hungry monster who would slaughter his own clansmen. At least that is what Konoha believed. Itachi, it was very ironic, was to be the savior of the Uchiha clan. Some were even tipping him for the position of Hokage once he grew older. But all of those dreams vanished in one night of bloodshed. The ridiculous thing that amused Naruto was Konoha's reaction after the tragedy of the fallen Uchiha clan. They cried for the Uchiha as if they had been on laughing terms with them. Itachi Uchiha was hated. They despised him for killing members of the Uchiha clan. They spoke so many curses about his name, and yet it hasn't even been 24 hours since it happened. It was only the afternoon as the villagers discovered the tragedy in the early morning. A number of the Uchiha clan members has been murdered in cold blood. But these people of Konoha really disgusted him. They hated the Uchiha clan, thinking that it was one of them that were behind the Kyuubi rampage. And now, some of them are dead. They want to cry about it? They want to cry for the Uchiha clan? These disgusting vermins. They acted like they had care all along when they shunned the Uchihas. And now they cry? And now they want to cry? As Naruto find it rather amusing after everything that Konoha had put the clan through. It was like if he died and they start to cry for him, saying that they were wrong, as it was just like that. Sad that their beloved Uzumaki was dead. But they wouldn't even cry for him. They would laugh and party Monday to Friday. They would probably even honor the day he died as a day of freedom. They finally got rid of the monster. Yep, Naruto could really see that happening, as he shook his head as he was currently sitting inside the Sarutobi's office, as Jiraiya was there as well, as the both of them had a concerned look on their face, as Naruto didn't know why they were so worried. What happened was, while the villagers cursed Itachi, they had taken their knife and glared at him. They blamed him for what happened. They blamed him for Itachi's goddamn actions. They thought that he was the one who manipulated the Uchiha. He was a demon after all. He corrupted their prodigy. He was the one who did it. Uzumaki Naruto, a 7-year-old, manipulate a Mangekyo Sharingan wielder, a Anbu captain, to kill members of his clan. The people were dead serious about it. Itachi was friends with him, and their logic was that the demon was manipulating the Uchiha for him to do such a thing. Hell, there was even a rumor that Naruto had manipulated Itachi to kill his clan, to hurt him for what his clan did to him, the demon, several years ago. These people was more than not rational after all. They were goddamn idiots. And Naruto's reaction when he was confronted with this, he laughed. He didn't just laugh. He burst out in laughter. He had rolled on the ground, clutching his stomach as he laughed. He had even let loose of a few tears as he laughed. But his laughter wasn't that by one though. It was a rather disturbing, dark laughter. Perhaps he really was losing it. To know that he was the one who talked Itachi out of not killing everyone. If it wasn't for him, the clan would have just been left up to Sasuke. He was the one that saved the day, and yet they still blamed him for the bad. At least something good came out of this. The Uchiha clan will be trusted once more. And him, Itachi, he wiped out members, and where he was right now, he would probably be happy knowing that his clan was being trusted and people didn't shun them anymore. But what about him and his mother? He didn't want his mother to worry about him. So lost in his thoughts, Naruto hadn't even realized that Sarutobi was talking to him, as Sarutobi called out his name 4 times. As Naruto finally blinked, "You said something?" he asked. The old man cringed at the lack of emotion on Naruto's tone. It was way sharper than usual. Not a good sign. Perhaps he needed to be taken to Inoichi to check his mental stability. That laughter wasn't normal at all. If anything, Sarutobi thought that Naruto had lost it, as that laughter freaked him out. It reminded him of Orochimaru, his traitorous student. "Why did you laugh, Naruto? Here's an axe." "Why indeed," Naruto said, as he rested his head on his right palm. "I guess I just found it to be rather hilarious." "It wasn't funny, Naruto," Sarutobi said. as it came a bit harder than he intended. But Naruto didn't seem to have noticed it, or he just ignored it. Sarutobi could not tell. Really? Naruto said. They blame me for Minato's death. They said I killed him. Mind you, I was just a couple of hours old, or even less at the time. Then they continued to call me a demon, me, the son of their beloved hero. Next up, they blame me for Itachi. Itachi's action, a full-grown man and woman, glaring down at a 7-year-old, accusing him of manipulating a genius, an Anfu captain. What is not funny, Naruto asks. Jiraiya swallowed. This kid was way too calm. His tone was nonchalant. It was just wrong. No one should be this calm about this issue in this manner. As Naruto's reaction was just crazy. He should be angry or something, but no. He was just so calm. No one had expected it. Even the villagers were surprised when Naruto just started laughing. Had Naruto's mental barriers finally broken, Jiraiya thought. No, not Minato's son, he said to himself. We have a serious mess to deal with. When other village hear of this, they would attempt to act. The third said to Jiraiya, You agree with me, Jiraiya, when I say this is way more important for us. Jiraiya nodded. The Anfu can deal with that, and your advisors as well as clan heads, and restore calm to the village. We don't want them burning Minato's house or getting any fun ideas. It will be difficult though. He then looked at Naruto. Naruto, as he took a pause there, watching Naruto carefully. Are you really okay? I'm fine, said Naruto, waving his left hand. Or are you asking if I've lost it? Sarutobi just looked at Naruto. Yes, he said. I am still sane, and the Kyuubi has not manipulated me. However, I don't see humans down there. There is only trash. I wonder, would Minato still sacrifice me if he knew about this? As Naruto then chuckled, a very bitter chuckle. Yes, he would do it again, and again and again, right until there was no life left in me. What are we going to do, Sensei? Jiraiya asked, his expression serious. I am willing to take them out of the village, to keep them safe. Oh, Naruto says. He looked at Jiraiya. You watch Orochimaru lost his mind. You won't watch me fall into that line as well. How sweet. Perhaps Mother was right when she said, despite your failures, you're a kind person after all. But have no worries. Nothing can make me lose my mind. Except for losing my mother, he said. As Hiruzen find that very disturbing. Naruto, did Itachi say anything to you yesterday? Did he talk to you? No, Naruto lied. As Sarutobi knew that Itachi would probably tell Naruto, but it seems like he didn't. Or Naruto was just keeping his mouth shut. Oh, said Sarutobi. Sasuke is going to need a friend. Can I trust you to be there for him? I don't know if his mother would be enough to keep him from falling. Naruto merely nodded as he closed his eyes for a moment. At least the Uchihas have secured their future. Konoha will no longer distrust them, and in turn the clan will grow. Those strings that were cut off and attached themselves back to the village. Once more the dead can thank Uzumaki Naruto once again. I still cannot believe they will blame you though, Jiraiya said. Even if I was high, I wouldn't go that far. They're looking for someone to blame. Itachi was a kind person, as they don't understand him acting like that. So, they saw me, the next best thing for them to blame, and they took out everything on me, Naruto said. Still, it doesn't give them the right to act the way they did to you, Sarutobi said with his tone full of disappointment. Life has never been fair to me, Naruto said with a shrug. As, before anyone could say anything, Kakashi appeared in the office. He had went out with a few other Anfus to search for Itachi, but Sarutobi had spoken to Itachi that night, and he knew that Itachi is already somewhere safe. So, by the books, he had to send people after him. Sending Anfu was just a formality and to avoid any suspicions of foul play. Despite Kakashi being masked, he knew that Kakashi was rather tired, as he felt bad for sending him on a goose chase. They would have never catch Itachi. You really look worn out, Kakashi III said. Judging by your appearance, I can say you didn't succeed. Kakashi nodded. We cover many ground, but we still couldn't find him. Even when we break formation to go one by one, we still couldn't find him. But I still believe he's in somewhere in the Fire Country. Right he was. Itachi was still in the Fire Country. Everyone thought that he would commit treason and run off the fire borders, as Itachi had anticipated that and did not move far away. The plan was to stay in one safe place and move when it was safer. I am sure you try your best. Go rest. I will leave this to the hunter Nins. By end of the day, Itachi will be in the bingo books as a S-rank criminal. Kakashi nodded, but he did not leave, as he still had to know how Naruto was doing. How are you taking this, Naruto? Itachi was your friend, teacher as well. Kakashi said in a rather tired voice. As I can, Naruto said. The door was almost busted open as Kushina dashed inside, as she quickly went over and grabbed Naruto and hugged him. As he hugged her back, as she started to cry, I'm glad you're safe, she said. Naruto did not say anything as he closed his eyes. It was okay for him to put on a sad smile. In a rare moment, Naruto kept his mask on even though his mother was there. She did not break through his defensive. I am fine, mother, he said, in his tone void of all emotion. Kakashi walked up to Jiraiya. Did I miss something? He said. Jiraiya nodded as he explained what happened. As Kakashi was disturbed to hear that villagers blame Naruto. This has gone too far. These villagers have been pushing it. Their actions sicken him. They are going to drive Naruto insane. And if that ever happened, he will have to put on the same mask that Itachi did and slaughter each and every one of them that hurt the poor boy. Giving one look at the mother and son, Kakashi then Shunshin away as he left the office. Kushina then released the hug. As she looked at Hiruzen, her hands were still on Naruto's shoulders though. Hiruzen, what are we going to do about this? Formalities, be damned. My son cannot take this crap no longer. I cannot watch this continue, she said. I know, Kushina. Once Mikato recovers from the hospital, and once the memorial is over, you will go to the Sand Village and settle there for a week or two once I clear up everything here. If by then your return is not welcome, you will leave the village with Jiraiya. I can cover for you for 4 years, the most, but by then you will have to return, he said. She just took her son and left. Sarutobi leaned back in his chair. You guess they make things right, Jiren. You know that things won't change, right? While they are with you, they won't get the chance to visit the sand. Naruto will still have to be hidden. He is Minato's son. Some people don't need proof to attack. And Kushina to acquaint themselves with the Sabukuno family. I still believe there is a future there, he said. You have come here demanding that he will be brought here. The answer is no. I will have you executed for treason. I know both of you were on it as well. Itachi told me, Sarutobi said, with a dangerous glare towards them. He also told me that you are at on the table, forgetting about the thing that caused secrecy. He then calmed himself. Naruto will be leaving Konoha for a while with Jiraiya. You have nothing to worry about. Now, get out of my office. I want to do my job. You can't be serious, Hiruzen. I'm not Hokage. You have no power ordering my shinobi. If I ever heard that you did again, you will be locked up in a cell for the rest of your miserable life. And you, Danzo, if you make a move towards Naruto, I'll make sure you regret it, he said. Now, all of you, leave. Just stay there with a look of not caring on his face. He could care less if his mother killed someone this time anymore. They deserve to die after all. He hadn't stopped her back then because he wasn't worried about that if she killed one of them. It was a happy day for him. Konoha would have one more everyone. And over on Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Banished and gathered all the Jinchurikis. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy, guys.